Welcome to the Get Sculpted podcast. We're your hosts, Tiana,
Jordanna,
and Marilyn.
This podcast is all about cutting through the noise and giving you the real deal on fat loss, muscle building, and what it really takes to build your 2.0 sculpted self, inside and out. Our motto is to work smarter, not harder. We'll break down science-based and actionable strategies to optimize your metabolism, ditch the diets, and create a sustainable, fit, and healthy lifestyle that actually works for you. So if you're ready to get stronger, not just skinnier, and embrace a body you love, hit that subscribe button and let's get sculpted.
Welcome back to another episode of the Get Sculpted podcast. I'm Coach Jordanna, and today it's just you and I. Let's talk about emotional eating because let's be honest, we've all been there. 1 second you're dealing with a stressful email, and the next you're 3 spoonfuls deep in a peanut butter jar, questioning all your life choices. You have to know it's not just about willpower. If it were, we'd all be out here eating perfectly portioned meals with zero cravings. But emotions, they're sneaky little things, and we don't get a handle on them. They'll have us believing that Oreos are a coping mechanism and the ultimate way to handle our feelings. So here's what you're going to learn today. First thing, why emotional eating happens. Hint, it's not because you lack discipline. 2, how to navigate those moments without diving headfirst into your pantry. And 3, my personal little trick called HALT. This is my go-to method for stopping emotional eating in its tracks. So stay to the end so you hear every word and get access to a special little gift. So let me be clear. This episode is not about shaming you for eating an entire pizza or an entire row of cookies or diving into your kid's stash of chocolates after a bad day. This is about understanding why you do it so you can change the pattern. No guilt, no BS, just real talk and real solutions. Okay? You with me? Let's dive in together. First things first, why does emotional eating happen? I want to dispel the lack of willpower myth here. First off, can we stop blaming ourselves for every food choice we make? Your body is wired for survival, not always the little salad that we think we should be ordering. Emotional eating is actually a biological response to stress, emotions, and unmet needs. It's not a you problem, it's a brain problem. I was lucky enough to study under Mark David at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. And what I learned is that, in the simplest of terms, your body and mind are in a relationship. If you ignore your emotions, your body will make sure that you listen. And sometimes that's by demanding cookies. That's my personal experience. Maybe yours is something else. And we have this thing called the stress response. When we're eating, we can either be eating in that stress response or we can be eating in a relaxation response. So when you eat under stress, our digestion tends to slow down, our metabolism tanks, and your body stores fat like it's preparing for an apocalypse. Blood flow is sent to your arms and legs to help you run faster. Your heart is racing because your brain thinks stress is survival. So anything we eat in this state is not really being digested optimally, and we're not satisfying the brain's connection to what we're eating, leaving us wanting more later. When you eat in a relaxed state, on the other hand, your body is actually processing the food properly, which means fewer cravings later on and a more balanced, self-regulated approach to food choices and amounts. Think of it this way. Emotional eating is basically our brain's version of hitting the mute button on our feelings. Stress? Here, have a chocolate. Anxiety? Try this bag of chips. Here's the real issue. Food works, but only for about 10 minutes. Then comes the guilt, bloating, and the realization that your problems still exist. And when done on repeat for decades like you and I, it's going to get in the way of any fitness goals you have now. Because change is hard. And whatever is most comfortable, regardless if it's good for you, your subconscious will fight you to keep it in place. So how do you actually navigate these emotional eating moments in real time? I'm going to give you 3 key steps you need to know, and then I'm going to share a framework for how you can apply it in the moment. Step 1, you need to name what's happening. Instead of autopiloting your way into a snack drawer, pause and ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? 9 times out of 10, it's not hunger. It's stress, frustration, loneliness, exhaustion, pretending or masquerading as hunger. You need to become aware in order to take the next step. Step 2 is changing the pattern. If you usually grab sugar when stressed, swap it for something potentially movement-based. A quick walk around the block, stretching for a few moments, or doing some deep breathing, whatever feels good for you. But the more you can bring your mind into alignment with your body in that moment, the better. If you eat when you're bored, I would love to suggest that you replace that behavior with something stimulating, like reading, journaling, or calling a friend that's not going to drain your soul and, in fact, lift your spirits up. What I love to do and have done in the past is to sit down for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, set a timer, and make a list of these things so that I proactively have them on hand, maybe in a note section on my phone, so that when I'm in the moment doing that little assessment, am I hungry or do I need something else? I can take a quick look at that list and give myself some options on what to do. Step 3, slow down and eat consciously. If you are going to eat, at least enjoy it. Sit down, breathe deeply, get present, put your food on a plate or in a bowl, use cutlery, pull out a napkin, maybe turn on the music. And then you can actually be in a place where you can taste and enjoy your food. Feel the texture in your mouth. Take in the smell. Recollect why you actually enjoy this food so much. Is it a person that once made it for you or that you enjoyed it with the first time? Is it an experience that brings you back to a time or place that connected you so deeply or brought you so much joy? The slower you eat, the less likely you are to inhale the entire family-sized bag of Doritos before your brain catches up to say you're full and the stressful moment has passed on. Imagine a moment when you can enjoy a bowl of Doritos, a smaller portion, but enjoy every bite, remembering how you maybe ate it with a sibling watching a Friday night movie together growing up. This is what it means to slow down and eat consciously. Okay, now you're wondering how to pull this all together, and that is fair. This is where I'd like to introduce to you the HALT method. It's a simple way to break the cycle, but it will take practice. So don't give up on yourself before it helps you reprogram your entire way of navigating emotional eating moments. If you take away one thing from this episode, let it be this. Before you emotionally eat, HALT. HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And with each one of these, when you go into that first step of developing awareness, this is what I want you to do. I want you to halt and go through a self-assessment. Are you hungry? Or are you just eating because it's time to eat? Or is it out of habit? If it's been more than 3 to 5 hours since your last meal, you might actually be truly hungry or thirsty. And in that case, I would encourage you to try and eat something balanced, especially if it's mealtime. And if it's not, then go on to the other 3. Are you angry, frustrated, stressed? Are you eating out of frustration or stress, or because someone annoyed the heck out of you? Here's the solution. Go back to that list that we made and try a non-food outlet. Go for a walk, vent in a journal, or listen to an angry 90s music dance song and you can shake it all out. If you're not angry, maybe you're lonely. Are you eating because you're bored or need connection? The solution here is to call or text a friend, get outside, or do something that actually fills your cup instead of just filling your stomach. And if you're tired, it's been a long day, it's been a long week, it's been a long year for many of us. Are you eating because you're exhausted and looking for energy? Your solution is sleep. Like seriously, it is actually sleep. No amount of caffeine or sugar will fix chronic exhaustion. And this will definitely keep you from any fitness goals that you have. If you're chronically tired, if you're chronically under eating, and then just go into emotional eating moments, you will go through maybe a couple of weeks where you'll lose a couple of pounds, but then you're going to be right back up to where you were, maybe even a pound or two up, and you'll constantly be feeling this like up and down cycle of frustration. If you can learn to pause and ask yourself these 4 questions before reaching for food, you'll start breaking that automatic habit of emotional eating and start taking back control of what you eat, why you eat it, and overall improve your relationship with food while increasing your self-confidence. Let's recap here. Emotional eating isn't about willpower for you. It's about understanding what your body is actually asking for. Food can't fix emotions. Stress eating is a trap. It really is. And if you're not using HALT yet, you definitely need to start. Look, I get it. Breaking the cycle takes practice and it takes time. But if you keep showing up for yourself, you will get better at this. It's like when you learned to ride a bike or started to work out in the gym or got your first job. Those first 3 months, there was a learning curve and it was big and it was steep and you weren't sure if you could see the top of it, but you did. And this is no different. If this episode hit home for you, I would love for you to DM me the word HALT over on Instagram, and I'll send you a quick 1-pager on how to put this into practice. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, please share it with them because we're all out here just trying not to let our feelings run our pantry. All right, that's it for me today. Go eat something with intention, drink some water, and maybe take a nap. You deserve it. Catch you next time on Get Sculpted.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Get Sculpted. We hope you feel inspired, empowered, and ready to take the next step in your fitness journey. Remember, building your 2.0 body is a unique journey for you. It's about showing up for yourself consistently and not being perfect.
If you loved today's episode, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a review and tag us on social at getsculpted.ca. Your feedback helps us reach more women like you who are ready to cut through the noise and make lasting changes.
For more daily tips, inspiration, and behind-the-scenes content, follow us on Instagram and check out our handles in the show notes below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on Get Sculpted. Until then, remember this: getting sculpted isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter.